Alright YouTube, what we've got today is a repair on a computer for a friend of mine, Gavin. His computer is infested with malware, so we're going to take a few minutes and wipe it. And I'm going to start with Windows 8.1, and I think I will do the free upgrade to Windows 10. But I have the system here, so let's get started. Alright, so the system in question here is an HP. I have not checked the specs on it yet. I do have it plugged in. I'm not sure how good the battery is. So I'm gonna put the cord over here for a quick second and flip the unit over so we can see if we can find some information on this system. Let's see what we got. A little bit dark in this room. There we go. You can focus. Alright, part number looks like Q130. Let's open it up and see what it's got. Physically, the system's in decent shape, so no complaints there. Looks like it could use a clean, but what can you expect? So it's an HP15, which doesn't tell me anything really. 500 gigabytes of data. It does have Windows 8.1 on it. So let's see what we can do with it. Alright, we're booting up. I actually was hoping to get a boot option because we don't know the password for this system. I'm gonna power this back off and I will be right back. I need to do a little bit of research and find out what my boot options are for this. So it looks like as far as recovering this HP, if we turn the power on and press the F11 key, we can do that without booting, but it does say something about a disk. Well, we don't have a disk, so let's see what we've got. I do believe this system, it's probably in sleep mode right now. Well, the bad news is the battery's completely dead. So we've got to plug in power. I can't wait till my phone charges. I'm using my tablet as my camera right now, so I do apologize for the shakiness. Alright, so I'm going to do power. Nothing. Well, that's always exciting. When you press power and you don't get any reaction. Joyous occasion. Press the F11 key to run recovery without booting into Windows. And some models press escape, then the F11 key. Oh boy. There's the escape key. Okay. Finally, got our menu. It would be best if we could recover this instead of doing a wipe and clean install of 8.1 because it would then have all the drivers needed. So I'm going to press the F11 key. And do what it asks me to. Please wait. While I was waiting, my little helper fell asleep. Biggs! You're not supposed to be sleeping, buddy. You're supposed to be helping me. You passed out on my heating pad. Hey, Mids. Hey, buddy. Here's my other helper. Alright, so here we go. What's our option? Edit and continue, exit and continue to Windows 8.1. Troubleshoot, just turn off your PC. Well, let's try troubleshoot. I guess we don't have a touch screen. Reset. If you want to remove all of your files, you can reset your PC completely. Let's do that. Ah, conventional hard drives, aren't they the best? So slow. Okay. Here's what will happen. And I do have permission. All your personal files and apps will be removed. Your PC settings will be changed back to their defaults. If you want to do it, click Next. Boy, they really want to make sure. And again, are you sure? Because we're going to reset everything. I'm pretty sure that we're pretty sure. Okay, let's put that Lenovo over there. And we'll let the system go through its restore. Looks like it's going to take just a little while. Meanwhile, I think I'll find out some more information on the specs. If it's running Windows 8.1, clearly it can run Windows 10. I'm hoping that will avoid some of the issues. We'll get this thing running really well. We'll clean it up. We'll test the battery, make sure the battery's okay. Do some benchmarking on it. See, how much life is left in this, because I think it's 2 or 3 years old. I have a feeling it's going to run for quite a while. I don't know what your opinion is, but Windows 8.1 and Windows 10, in my opinion, require way less as far as hardware goes compared to Windows 7. So, in my opinion, it's much better. You can run it on older PCs, you can run it on newer PCs. I honestly have been really happy with it, so I've had good success. Okay. Oh, incidentally, so while this is restoring, I just wanted to show you some of the things I'm doing. One is, again, because my phone is dead, I'm recording this with my tablet, which is a Samsung Galaxy Note 2014 edition, which I'll do a video on in the future, using my blue microphone also, which is hooked up to the eMac G4. And so I'm recording audio twice. I'm recording it on the tablet and I'm recording it on the blue microphone, which has really good sound, I have to say. For the price I paid for this, this microphone is regular $49, but I got an open box item for $39, and I had a $5 certificate, so 34 bucks for that microphone all in all. And using the eMac to record the audio at the same time as I do the video. So again, with computers and utility, I mean, I hate to see technology get thrown out and how fast we replace technology like computers, and yet it still has useful functionality. It can still do things just like a modern computer. Of course, if you're playing games or something like that, I can understand not using a computer this old, but hey, it works. What the heck? Well, after what must have been about 5 hours, we finally got the restore completed, and I'm going to go ahead and set region and time zone, if I can find it. There we go. I don't want to have to register this, but I will have to respond to the license terms. I am going to skip that. We'll just call this computer Gavin PC. And get it connected to a network, because I'm thinking I'm going to do a Windows update. Alright. Gonna type the code real quick. At this point, I'm just going to go with Express Settings, because really what I want to do is just get this thing set up and put Windows 10 on here. I'm going to say create a new account. I'm really hoping sign in without a Microsoft account. And we'll just call the PC once again the login Gavin. And I think we just won't leave a password. We won't put in a password. Oh boy. My favorite part. So yeah, the recovery took about 5 hours. So I'm thinking this computer really doesn't have a whole lot of capability in it, which really doesn't surprise me. I'm going to load my browser on the eMac. And while we're waiting, I'm going to Google. I want to find out what kind of specs we're dealing with here. It's interesting because HP's model numbers are really pretty basic. HP15 is the model number. Let's see if we can find out. I'm going to pick this thing up because I need more information. I need the complete model number, which is... I can barely read this. Holy cow. Q130. This is no, it's not that. I don't think that's the model number on the back there. There it is. -FJ39WM. So that's the tricky part. FJ39WM. My keyboard's too close to my mic. HP15 FJ39 spacebar. So it's still working on getting the account set up. Looks like originally this laptop was $390. Okay, I'm going to have to check that again. I can barely read the model number. Everything's so faded on the bottom. Honestly, cannot be sure. There's no way to know. It's so destroyed. Can't really read the model number at all. 39 WM's the only stuff I can read on it. But anyway, we'll assume that's what it is. Looks like this was a Walmart laptop. Oh boy. Okay, so if this is indeed the system, it's a 2.16 gigahertz Intel Celeron N2830 processor with turbo boost up to 2.41 gigahertz. 4 gigabytes of DDR3. 1 user accessible memory slot, but 4 gigabytes is good. Intel HD graphics, doesn't say what. I really have found this eMac pretty useful. No thanks for leaving feedback. Super multi-DVD burner, 10100 base T Ethernet LAN, 802.11 BGN, which it did connect to my N. It would not connect to AC. Full-size island-style keyboard. Well, I don't know about that, but it does have a numeric keypad, which is pretty cool. USB 3.0. I really think this thing might do pretty good with Windows 10. Yeah, I think that's what the model number, product name is, 15-F039. Luckily I did the restore, so I don't have to worry about the drivers or any of those issues. Every great once in a while when you do a Windows 10 install on a system, some of the software and drivers may become inoperable, which if that is the case, I guess we'll deal with it. We being me, of course. Can't be that bad, can it? Nah. So it's still clucking away, doing its thing. I'm not really overly impressed, really, with... I think maybe it's the processor, because with Windows 8, I figured it would have been through this part already. But then again, I do recall even on a really speedy system, Windows 8 would take a while on that initial log-on process. And all I really want to do is run Internet Explorer and see if we can still get the free upgrade to this thing, to Windows 10. Supposedly the free upgrade for Windows 10 was cut off in January, but I've successfully done free upgrades since then, so I'm not so sure that it's cut off, honestly. Almost ready. Boy, it's a good thing they put those messages up here. What would we do? I'm about tempted to go get another cup of coffee. I'm really thinking I'm going to speed this part up. I wouldn't want you guys to fall asleep. This unit on the sticker, it says it's feature rich and budget friendly. See it clearly with HD, optimized for Windows 8.1. Has some HP connected apps, which probably accounts for the slowness in loading. I know that the apps that can be included by a vendor can include quite a bit of bloatware, which can be problematic. Well, so here we are. It's actually ready to offer to me a Windows 10 upgrade, so I won't even have to go and locate the necessary software. It's a 3 gigabyte download, and if the update, well, the restore to Windows 8.1 is any indication, it could be a little while. So I'm going to click Finish. And if I recall, it first tries to update Windows 8.1 and then does the upgrade to Windows 10. So I'm going to go ahead and say get started. I'm kind of hoping I am on a pretty good internet connection that it can pull it down pretty quickly. I don't believe I have an ISO of the necessary package version of Windows 10. So how many of you have upgraded to Windows 10, and what has your experience been? Do you feel Windows 10 has been helpful to you or more of a problem? What's your usage? I'd like to see your comments. Are you using it for gaming, or is it something that you use for basic office productivity? What type of functionality do you use it for? So looks like the battery might be good also, because it is fully charged now. Well, since I'm sitting here waiting, I think I'll take a minute and do some cleaning. Because it sure needs it. It does amaze me these days how cheap technology's become. And I shouldn't say cheap, maybe I should say inexpensive. I mean, in some respects it is cheap, because these days, if you have a laptop or some new technology and it breaks, if you don't have a warranty on it or it's out of the warranty period, you don't have a whole lot of latitude. It's not like you can tear it apart and fix it yourself. So definitely a whole different scenario than it was when I was really young. I used to take apart all my TVs and fix them, and any technology I had I would disassemble and usually could get it working and fix it. I'm trying to do this without hitting any keys because I don't want to disrupt the install. Definitely would be bad. I think I'm going to minimize this for a second so that while I'm cleaning, I don't lose my upgrade and make it think that I want it to stop. Wow, the screen is dirty. I know Gavin uses this computer a lot, so I'm really hoping that it'll run a lot better for him after the upgrade, and he enjoys it and is able to do the things he needs to do. I think if I was looking for a new computer, a Windows computer, and I needed the basics, I probably would look at a budget laptop too. It's amazing how much you can actually get done. Just like we were talking about in previous videos. Utility is all about what does it do for you, and is it what you need? Doesn't mean you have to have the greatest laptop ever, or computer, or whatever, phone. If it's good enough to get by, it's good enough. Alright, looking much better. See if I can get back to our update. Well, I have a feeling this is going to be a long time coming. It's downloading the setup files. I mean, this could be hours, so I hate to make everybody sit here and watch this particular phase. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to shut off the camera, and once the update is completed, I'll come back and we'll check it out. We'll do a Geekbench benchmark on it, see if it how it responds, and do a Nova bench, see how it compares to other technology. I am curious with Windows 10 on it, how it does. So I'm going to cut for you. We'll be right back. For me, it may be a while. See you in a few. Alright, we are back. The Windows 10 install went pretty well. We're just wrapping it up now. All in all, the actual installation took probably about 3 hours, but did successfully complete. Now I'm just waiting for it to do its final setup. When I was working on the computer, I found out that it had McAfee installed, which was taking up about 45% of the CPU clock ticks. not that I'm saying McAfee is a bad antivirus solution, but at least for this computer, it was too much. Maybe it was an older version that needed to be updated, but I chose to uninstall it because Windows 10 has its own antivirus software. Now, some people may say it's not good enough. Personally, I haven't had any problems since I started using it, so in my opinion, it seems to work pretty well. Any problems meaning I haven't received any viruses or had any malware infections or adware infections on the computer, so I consider that a major plus. And its footprint is a lot smaller than McAfee, to be sure. So since it's free and it seems to work better, that's what I chose. And I would recommend if you have a value system. I also uninstalled a ton of the bloatware, if you will. There was quite a bit of it on here. So that's typical with computers that you buy from Walmart and Best Buy. Although Best Buy does have, I think it's called the Signature Series, it might be Microsoft Signature Series, where you get a computer that's set up exactly to Microsoft specs, which does not allow for software that isn't in the Signature Series to be installed. At least I think that's what it's called. So that's something to consider when you're buying a PC. Everything does seem to take extra time on this computer, and I think that's attributed to the processor and probably the disk speed as well. Now, isn't that interesting? Notice down here Cortana is running, but I specifically said I do not want to use Cortana. Go figure. Guess you have to say it twice. Once isn't enough. Not sure. I'm sure. Basic searching is all we really need. All right. Oh, yes. It's got natural scrolling enabled. Yuck. Let's see if we can fix that. Not a big fan of the whole natural scrolling thing. And here's what does bother me about Windows 8 and Windows 10 is the dumbing down of the settings, and then if you want more, you have to go and do additional mouse settings. And this is a Synaptics. Now, I've noticed some of the drivers do not have the setting to turn off natural scrolling, so I'm hoping this one does. We'll find out. Two-finger scrolling. Oh boy. Yeah, we get all that. Tiny little setting icon here. Enable reverse scrolling direction. Well, let's see if that does it. We can practice. No way. Okay, good. It worked. So it doesn't call it natural scrolling in this iteration of the mouse driver. It says enable reverse scrolling direction. Wow. Consistency, right? Not at all. Okay, okay. Make sure my settings get changed. Now I hear the hard drive going at it, so let's get a look at Task Manager and turn on more details. So the disk is pretty busy. Driver installation module, huh? I really think the weak point in this computer isn't the CPU and it's not the memory, it's actually the disk. On these budget computers, The disk is probably just a standard 5400 RPM. So this system is a good candidate for a SSD. I think it would definitely improve performance. So right now it just did something. I think it installed video driver, so it's hard at work. And now disk has decreased considerably, but still pretty busy. Now we got CPU heading up there. Alright, the anti-malware. Yeah, it is installing a ton of drivers. Let's see if we can figure out what it's doing. Well, it doesn't bother to tell us, does it? It just says it's installing a device. So even though the install is done, the install isn't done. Awesome. Well, since we're sitting here and we want to optimize this, let's look at startup. Well, okay, I know he's not going to use OneDrive, so we're going to disable that. We need those two things, so we'll leave them. I don't think I'm going to mess with shutting down any services. So the CPU is not that busy. It's all about that disk. It's just going to town. Now it's not bad at all. 2%. So it's settling down, finishing installing those drivers. Now we're all back into the CPU again. Well, I'm curious. So we're going to shut this down. And I'm going to see if I can find a stopwatch I can run on the Mac so I can time this. Makes me wonder if I should give this thing another hour or so to finish up all the things that it's doing, because it seems like it's still really slow. It's probably still doing driver installs and other things like that. But while I'm waiting, I'm going to bring up a stopwatch on... Whoops, sorry, I keep bumping the tripod. Really professional. I'm trying to find a stopwatch that is online that doesn't require flash. I think I found one. It says no flash required. Okay, so before I actually shut this thing down, I'm going to go back to Task Manager. Okay, everything seems to have calmed down. I swear I still hear the hard drive going. I do hear the hard drive, even though it says only 7% usage. Alright, well, we're going to start with just a plain old power off. So I'm going to do shutdown, and at the same time I'm going to start this stopwatch going, just confirming that it actually works. It does. Okay, so here we go. 3, 2, 1, shutdown. Well, I couldn't be 100% positive when the hard drive stopped churning, but I think it looks to be about 7 seconds for a shutdown, which is awesome. Windows 10, I swear, it really does make a difference. Okay, so we go with startup. 3, 2, 1, start. Okay, this time it actually did begin starting up, and the stopwatch is going. And we will go until the login credentials are presented. We're at 20 seconds now. 25, 26. 36, 37. All right. So it auto logs in. I forgot because I didn't put a password in yet, so Gavin can set his own password. But all in all, we got the screen in 44 seconds. So this is definitely a good candidate for an SSD, that's for sure. I am curious. Let's, knowing what we know now about startup and speculating that an SSD would really make quite a difference on this system, let's find out what the story is with Geekbench. Good thing is this is only going to test the processor because right now it definitely is busy, busy, busy. I can hear that hard drive going at it. Okay, running security scan. Let's run it. Yes, we will install Geekbench. Next, next. Finish. Let's run it. We will purchase later, and we're going to run the 32-bit. I can still hear the hard drive going. I'm going to run it anyway because I'm thinking it's just processor based. I'm sure that the processor is doing a little bit with the hard drive, but we won't worry about that. It's all about the weakest link, though, isn't it? You could have the fastest memory bus. I mean, this has got DDR3 memory, and I'm pretty sure the processor's probably sufficient. Well, single core 859, multi-core 1560, so that's pretty slow. But, again, more than sufficient for the basic needs. So this is one processor, 2 core. So its multi-core score is halfway decent, and of course this is the only the 32-bit. Let's find out what we can about the drive. I know NovaBench is older, but I do like it because it measures everything as a whole, which is nice. So let's do a NovaBench download. Even with the processor where it is, this would definitely run much better with an SSD. As it is, it's running really good on Windows 10. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and install NovaBench. We'll accept the terms. And finishing up the install. I wish I could get Geekbench and NovaBench for the eMac G4. I can't seem to find one that is old enough that will run. I guess I gotta look harder because I've seen people running Geekbench on PowerPC Macs. I really would like to know what the processor score is for this eMac. Alright, we're gonna launch NovaBench. I'm going to close the browser because I know it's going to tell me to. And close Geekbench. And And make sure there's nothing down here that's running. Not that I can tell. Start benchmark tests. So NovaBench will go through and it'll test the CPU, it'll test the memory, speed, read and write. It'll test the hard drive read and write. So now it's doing the RAM transfer speed, which is nice because I get a kind of a raw score, an overall score of everything that it can possibly do. And still working on the RAM transfer speed. 3D graphics test. I know he was playing Minecraft on this, so it can do some kind of 3D graphics. Alright, NovaBench score 316, RAM speed is adequate, CPU test adequate, drive write speed isn't the worst, 43 megabytes a second. It's about on par with my Lenovo 11-inch with an i3. So I'm going to compare these results online. I'm curious. So it's thinking. I did wipe this drive. No, I did a restore of Windows 8.1. It's beginning to make me wonder if it needs a defrag, so I think we're going to defrag this system. Well, you can see what an i7 will get you. We want to look at something more realistic, though. I know the top is always wonderful, but come on. How many people actually have a top system? Can you show me a median score? Not really. So the middle of the road score 841 on here. Highest so far 3591, and that was achieved apparently with this i7 6700K 4 gigahertz with 32 gigabytes RAM. Kind of what I would expect. Alright, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and defrag this and call this completed. NovaBench score of 316. Hello. I'm not sure why it's opening the camera. It's doing whatever the heck it wants right now. Must have hit that somehow. Anyway, I'm going to do a defrag of this system. The HP15 with 4 gigabytes of RAM, 500 gigabyte hard drive, and a 2 gigahertz Celeron processor. We'll call this one good, but we are going to check and see if it needs a defrag. It's acting like it, although it shouldn't. Let's find out. Let's do an optimize and see what it has to say. 0% defragmented. We'll do it anyway. See if we can get it to run any better. Anyway, thank you for watching, and like and subscribe, and I hope to see you on the next episode, which more than likely will be about the eMac. Have a good one.